What's going on, everyone? Back here with you for another video, and today we're pretty much going to be recapping the Super Bowl that happened about 2 weeks ago, kind of preview where we think the biggest free agent quarterback is going to be this offseason. And then we're also going to get into our first part of the NBA season. Obviously, NFL takes a majority of the chunk of the NBA season, but now that's over, you got to focus on that more as a pretty passionate NBA fan. And yeah, and if you like what we're doing, make sure to keep subscribing and liking our posts on Twitter at aboutteams.com. So, Colin, I guess my biggest takeaway from the Super Bowl was, besides the fact that I went 0-4 in picking Super Bowl winners from the weeks on, was I did bet on the Chiefs, though, was just Patrick Mahomes gets it done, man. And if I would have loved to just seen the rivalry kind of like of him, like in a way of like Brady and Manning for a little bit, like with Brady and Mahomes, because it sucks that they're at the tail end. Brady was at the tail end of his career, and they still met in the Super Bowl, and Brady won. But this is special, man, what we're seeing kind of going from one quarterback that was a GOAT to arguably the next GOAT, too. They're 1A, 1B kind of situation, I think, is what we're seeing here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth noting that over the past 2 seasons, Mahomes has had 53 interceptions that were overturned by the referees, and the second closest quarterback to that number is Josh Allen with 4. So I think that was an interesting. I'm just not fully sold on the fact that Mahomes is what he is. I feel like he did. There wasn't much in the Super Bowl to like kind of say anything about, but I just feel like overall as a player and over the season, I just haven't really seen him play at the elite level that Tom Brady has.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it just seems like when it matters most, like an OT or lay in the fourth, he gets it done, and it's special to watch. But I would agree, this is a team that put up 17 points against the Ravens, and really before OT, what was it, 20 points before that touchdown? So like this defense was holding their own like not in previous years. I think it's noteworthy. But with that being said, kind of going into the Niners side, do you think their Super Bowl window has kind of closed?
I think they probably got 1 or 2 more years. They don't have much. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Brock Purdy's still on that small contract, but with McCaffrey, Nick Bosa's contract kicking in, do you move off from Chase Young, even though he was kind of your big acquisition at the trade deadline? He didn't really do much from what I saw. Brandon Ayuk's going to have to get paid. It's going to be like this was San Francisco's year. I feel like they'll probably be back next year, but you know what they say, like that Super Bowl hangover is real, as we saw from Philadelphia this past year. Like going all the way, being that close, and then losing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But we'll see, because San Francisco, they had like this window. What was it, back in like 2019? They first kind of made some noise, and then they've been to like 4 NFC appearances, and NFC Championship, and then 2 Super Bowls, and nothing is showed for it besides double-digit leads blown.
Yep, every time.
But with that being said, I guess we're kind of going to move into Kirk Cousins, and maybe we can even include Baker Mayfield. Where do you think these quarterbacks kind of go? Do you want to see Kirk back in Minneapolis or on a new team? As I go to just show my window real quick.
I mean, I can't really picture him on any other team, to be honest. But at the same time, I don't really know where the Vikings' head is at. I can only imagine him staying in Minneapolis. But if he had to move, I can picture him on like a weaker team that kind of needs a more like hardened quarterback, like maybe the Falcons or something like that. Like I'm trying to picture a team that might need him.
Yeah, that's been a big rumor, especially because I guess his wife's family's from Atlanta, his wife's from Atlanta, and they need a quarterback. And that roster is pretty good. They got a solid defense. Maybe he could finally unlock Kyle Pitts, what was supposed to be a generational tight end, but it's just
Probably
kind
one
of
of the most overrated tight ends of all time.
yeah, that's true. But he does
But
have crazy
that has a lot of
athleticism,
potential, yeah. I
so
agree.
maybe he could unlock that like he has with TJ Hawkinson. But I don't know, man. As a Vikings fan, I kind of am done with like just the money he wastes up. Like he's been around like a top 10 QB his time, especially the last 2 years. He's been very solid. But if he's gonna demand like that 40+ million contract, I'm all set. 40 million
Yeah,
a year because he's not worth it if you're trying to build something here. And if you have that pick at number 11, is McCarthy going to be there? There have been rumors that they might trade up. The Patriots might be looking to get more picks to build out the roster if they don't want to go one of those three QBs. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
yeah.
It's going to be great to cover all these moves that will happen. With that being said, though, kind of moving into Baker Mayfield. I feel like there's no other place for him besides Tampa Bay, but there's also been rumors that him and Mike Evans are kind of waiting it out because maybe if Mike Evans doesn't return, why would he want to go there with one less weapon and losing their offensive coordinator to Carolina? It'll be interesting because he played like a very solid QB this year.
I agree. I'm not sure where he'd end up. I think the Buccaneers would be stupid to let go of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be nice for them to have like a wide receiver that stuck with them the whole time. That's actually like elite tier.
Yeah, 1,000 yards for what since he got into the league? It's like been 9 straight years.
And he's won a
Definition,
Super Bowl. He's getting pretty old.
yeah, he's been the definition of consistent though throughout his career.
Hmm.
People don't bring him up in top 10 wide receiver talks, but I don't really know why. I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't really know why. He's kind of overlooked.
yeah, he's always been consistent. He's had Chris Godwin there, so he's not getting all the attention. But
Yeah.
yeah. With that being said, so yeah, I think we both kind of agree. He's got to resign with Tampa. Kurt's a little bit more. I could see him in a Falcons uniform 100%,
That's what I'm thinking.
in my opinion, if he were to move on. But it'll be interesting because this week's the combine and stuff, and this is where all the agent meetings happen and
Hmm.
tampering. Like, oh, I don't know if Minnesota wants me back. What would you guys offer kind of situation.
Right.
But with that being said, I guess we'll move into unless there's anything you want to add to the NFL, move into some NBA contenders or pretenders to
Oh
see
yeah.
whether or not we're on the same page.